Welcome back, everybody, to another new comic book day. We got a huge haul this week. So big, in fact, that it had to fit in 2 different bags, man. So we got 17 single issues and a couple of extras. Let's get into it, man. Always an awesome day when these come out on the same day. So we got Absolute Wonder Woman, issue number 11. Gotta be my pick of the week. Followed closely behind by Absolute Martian Manhunter. It's tough to rate these two, right? But we got Absolute Martian Manhunter, issue number 6. Glad this series is back. Took a little bit of a break. Absolute Wonder Woman, of course, down in the maze, hanging out with Ferdinand the Minotaur. Moving right along, we got Masterminds, issue number 1. New sci-fi series from Zach Kaplan over at Dark Horse Comics. I'm a huge Zach Kaplan fan, so this should be a pretty good read. Justice League Unlimited, issue number 10. A little bit behind on the series, got to catch up. Green Lantern Dark, issue number 6. I think this closes us out. It's like a horror Green Lantern. It's pretty fun. I'd recommend it in like a trade. Definitely check it out. Green Arrow, issue number 27. I'm loving this arc, man. Might even be better than the first arc, which is kind of tough to say, but yeah, loving it. We also have Geiger number 17 from Ghost Machine. Loving the cover on this one. Geiger's my dude, you guys know it. Actually, I'm wearing a Junkyard Joe shirt. You can't see it. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring, issue number 2. I'm glad this is back, man. Back in Woodvale, having a fun time. Loving the concept for this one, the advent of the internet, how it's going to affect the story should be pretty interesting. You'll Do Bad Things number 6, closing out this mini-series from Tyler Boz Turtleichi. Fun little slasher, sort of horror mini-series with great artwork, very unique stuff from Turtleichi. We're taking everyone down with us, issue number 5. Glad this series is back. Took a little bit of a break. Matthew Rosenberg and Landini on the art on this one. Fun spy espionage action series there. The Invisible Man number 1. This is from the Universal Monsters. They're doing this over at Skybound Image. So far we've had Creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Mummy, and now we have Invisible Man. So it should be pretty cool. James Tynion IV coming back to write a Universal Monsters series. He obviously did Dracula way back in the day. Ultimate Spider-Man number 20. Excited for this, even though we don't have Kaketo on the art. It's Messina again. That's all right, man. The Voice Said Kill, issue number 2. This one is a little bit of a tougher recommend. The first one, it landed, you know, the plan by the very end, but took a little bit to get there with that Cy Spurrier writing. He's not my favorite writer of all time, but the artwork from Vanessa Del Rey. But we have Shredder number 1. New, I don't know if it's a mini or an ongoing, I'm not sure, but this is from IDW. I'm loving the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles main series, and we got Dan Waters coming in to write a Shredder series. I'm a huge Dan Waters fan, quickly becoming one of my favorite writers, so this is pretty cool. Superman number 29, Legion of Darkseid, issue number 2. We'll have to see how that goes. Been loving this ongoing Superman title. Robin and Batman Jason Todd, issue number 3. I don't know if it's the last one, but we got Jeff Lemire writing with Dustin Nguyen on the artwork. Just beautiful stuff, man. So yeah, I know a lot of people aren't so hot on this. I don't know why, dude. It's Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. They always do magic together. News from the Fallout, issue number 3. One of my favorite indie series of the year so far with Jeffrey Allen Love's artwork and Chris Condon on the writing. Really like this concept. Gives me like Twilight Zone vibes. I think it's really hitting for me. So news from the Fallout, fun sci-fi series there. And then the 2 bonuses we've got. Absolute Wonder Woman, this is the trade paperback, includes issues number 1 through 7. This is for my brother, so now he can read Absolute Wonder Woman. This past weekend we got him Absolute Superman, and then previous to this I got him Absolute Batman. So now he has all 3 trades. He can start enjoying the rest of the Absolute universe just like us. Then of course it's the big day, dude. Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, The Knives, new hardcover out from my favorite creative duo in the game. So yeah, I had to pick this up, man. But that's what we got. New Criminal book, hardcover, trade paperback, and then 17 single issue comic books. A lot of great picks, a lot of new number 1s. And I was looking, man, is there anything I can drop in this list? I don't think so, dude. This is all stuff that I have to have on my pull. Maybe like Justice League Unlimited, like maybe Green Lantern Dark you'd want to drop, but other than that, man, this is it right here. So ending August really strong. Let me know what you guys are picking up down in the comments while you're down there. Like if you like, sub if you love, really helps out these small channels. Stay tuned for the rest of the new comic book day video. Of course, I'm doing this every single week, man. So new comic book day haul, that's a given. Second though, we're changing up the order. We're talking about what I read in the month of August in terms of collected editions, graphic novels, omnis, and that sort of thing. Then we're doing comic book reviews. So switching up the order on you guys just a little bit, trying something a little bit new. And then we're closing out this video by doing 10 comments, questions, and concerns from you guys, the audience, questions and stuff that you guys left in the month of August, man. So that's what we got. Those 4 topics make up this new comic book day. Definitely stay tuned. Use the chapters down below to skip around, and I really appreciate it, man. These are all the things I read in the month of August. We got a deluxe edition, couple trades, and we have an Omni. let's get into it, man, because some of this stuff is like all-time peak in my top 10 for sure. First thing we're talking about is in the top 10 for sure. We got Descender, Jeff Lemire, Dustin Nguyen. This is just an excellent kind of sci-fi series, so we'll be getting into that, show you guys some of the art. Also read Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, Who Killed Jimmy Olsen. I wanted to read some stuff from Matt Fraction, especially some DC Matt Fraction stuff, before he takes over the Batman title. We also read some 20th Century Men. Excellent little one-off trade paperback from Dennis Camp. This is an Image Comics series, Elseworlds kind of, war series, and we'll get into that as well. The Silver Surfer Omnibus, which I gotta be honest with you guys, I only have a little less than half read, but it's gonna be what I'm continuing to read as we close out August. So I'll probably do like a more in-depth review of this at some point. Let's start off with Descender, man, because honestly, this is a top 10 series of all time. It's up there with like East to West for me, like Saga, it's up there, right? Descender is all about this kid who we actually find out is a robot. In this world, there's been like a robot attack. Giant robots like this big, planet sized, they come out and they just wipe out billions. No one knows what the heck happened, why all these robots decided to attack. So a lot of people think that technology is to blame. They start going after robots. They start going like off a robotic purge sort of thing all across the galaxy. 10 years flash forward, this little kid wakes up, who we find out is a robot. His name is Tim 21. He's kind of the key to it all, right? So he wakes up on this mining colony. He's alone. His family is nowhere to be seen. His whole quest is to find his brother, who he had a really close relationship 10 years ago, and he doesn't know where he is now. This guy's joined by this little tiny robotic little dog. But yeah, man, I'm just really loving the world that Jeff Lemire is kind of building here with Dustin Nguyen. This guy is like an expert in robotics. He's the one who created Tim 21, but maybe he's at fault for the return, like these robots coming in and wiping out people. These people are members of, I think the UGC, UCG, something like that. They're like the, kind of like the Star Trek kind of organization, like in charge of all the planets type of thing. And yeah, it's just like this entire cosmic kind of journey that Tim 21 goes on trying to find his brother, and kind of what it means for these robots coming back. Are they gonna wipe us out? It's kind of like a story on, like what does it mean to be human? And yeah, man, it's just a really fun journey. I'm loving all the characters. Tim 21, we got Driller, we got the robot that he's, joined by all the time. The members of the UCG, like the bodyguard. And yeah, the artwork by Dustin Nguyen is just spectacular, dude. Always a fan of Dustin Nguyen's artwork, but I've never seen it quite like this in this sort of sci-fi sort of setting. Usually Dustin Nguyen stuff that I've seen is more grounded, right? So it's really cool to see Dustin Nguyen, take it up to this next level and joining Jeff Lemire and writing a really good story. I got a bunch of comments, people saying over the years that you gotta read Descender. You guys were right, Descender is incredible. Can't wait to continue reading it. And I think it's out in a trade paperback compendium as well, so definitely check that out. Let's talk about Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, Who Killed Jimmy Olsen. One of the weirdest series I've ever read, man, I gotta be honest. And that makes it kind of a hard recommendation, I'm not gonna lie. So I've never read a Jimmy Olsen story ever, maybe. He's always the character that's in the Superman stories, in the background. He has a couple lines here and there, but who is Jimmy Olsen, right? And this story really gets into the meat of it. What's his family history? Who are his siblings? Kind of like, what's the role in Jimmy Olsen? Like, what's his role in the Superman kind of world? What does Jimmy Olsen bring to a story type of thing? There's an assassination attempt on Jimmy Olsen, and he's got to solve his own murder, right? So who tried to kill me? Was it Lex Luthor for some reason? But the story itself, it's like this windy type of story. It's so ingenious how Matt Fraction has sort of laid it out. It doesn't seem like it's making sense, and then halfway through it starts to click. It's like the weirdest reading experience I've ever had. The artwork from Steve Lieber is excellent, man. Every panel, and this isn't a joke, you guys can literally read this and check for yourself. Every panel there's a joke. Every panel there's a funny visual gag or like something funny that Matt Fraction has said. And Steve Lieber's artwork has a lot to do with it, but it's hilarious, dude. One of the funniest comic book reads I've ever had the experience of reading. The reason why I chose this story was to kind of get a sense of how Matt Fraction might handle Batman. After reading this, man, I'm just more confused than ever. I have no idea how he's gonna handle Batman. There's like an alien invasion involved too, because Jimmy Olsen accidentally got married to this interdimensional jewel thief named Jix. And so the aliens come because Jimmy Olsen married Jix before this alien could, and there's a lot going on, man. A lot of moving parts in this series. The cat that like throws up blood. I'm just jibber jabbing, man, about this series, but it's good. It's weird to talk about that one. Let's talk about 20th Century Men. Excellent stuff, man. So Dennis Camp written story with Stepan Morian, and I want to say specifically Stepan, dude. Excellent artwork. Like, it's so crazy how Stepan's able to switch it up. You have the more kind of realistic, like painted style, but when it gets into a war scene, it gets all crazy and kind of jumbled up. But what's the story about? I guess I should start there. So the Cold War went off, right? Between Russia and the US, and obviously the invasion of the Middle East countries like Afghanistan and stuff like that. What if there was like superpowered beings kind of involved in all that, right? So back in the day, there was a superpowered super soldier, kind of like Captain America. He becomes the president in the modern day. This takes place in like the 80s. In Russia, there's this dude who is in kind of like an Iron Man suit. So that's kind of their superhero as well. Back in Vietnam, the US used this dude named Bill, who is like a cyborg killer, and he just is such a savage. He just goes and kills a whole bunch of people. In a lot of ways, it's kind of similar to something like the Power Fantasy, like the same kind of themes. Really kind of thoughtful prose writing from Dennis Camp as well, like some banger lines he just drops in here. And the artwork from Stepan is just incredible, man. This was a one sitting type of read. I just sat down and I could not put it down. So yeah, it's just like a really interesting kind of world that they're kind of building here. It's the Cold War type of vibe and situation, but what if there were superpowered beings kind of involved with it as well? Alternate history, sort of superhero read, and I think it's excellent, dude. So 20th Century Men, I can see why everybody's recommending it. I can see why I put Dennis Camp on the map. Same kind of themes as stories you'd find in like the Ultimates that he's writing now. But yeah, a little bit deeper. It scratches a little bit deeper. Being an indie series, Dennis Camp could have a little bit more fun with it. And yeah, 20th Century Men. Now let's talk about the Silver Surfer. So like I was saying, guys, I'll be honest, I'm not all the way done with it. It's been like my nighttime read, and I've been loving it. It's just something that I was not able to finish before filming this video. It's excellent stuff, man. So the entire thing is the Silver Surfer just racing across the skies in space. And so this alien species, they kidnap everyone who's important to these people so that the Silver Surfer can fight off this great threat. And that's kind of the introduction of the story. He's like, hey, I don't know who this girl is. Why is she so important to me? Why do I have to save her? And they just go on this really long journey, right? So it's the Silver Surfer and this girl just racing across the skies, just having crazy space adventures with this Earth girl, the Silver Surfer. And the artwork from the All Reds is just excellent. The writing's really funny too. I'm loving the Silver Surfer. I'll have more thoughts on it, I guess, later once I finish it. But yeah, Silver Surfer is just such a fun read so far. I'm loving it. Never read a Silver Surfer story in my life. Really just kind of vibing with him as a character as he's going on these crazy sci-fi space adventures with the girl, man. So Silver Surfer, dude. So that's what we got. Everything that I read in the month of August. Definitely stay tuned. I'll be picking out my September reads soon, and we got to finish the Silver Surfer before the month's over. But that's what we got. Let me know what you guys have been reading in the comments. And while you're down there, man, like if you liked, sub if you love. Really helps out these small channels. Thank you guys for watching it. Read more comics. Welcome back to weekly comic book reviews. Everything that I read in the week of August 20th that I want to review for you guys. We got 10 comic books here. We're going to rank them from what I most recommend to what I least recommend, all right? So we're going to start off with just excellent stuff, man. It's Escape. I bet you guys thought it'd be absolute Batman. Escape #1, one of the best #1s of the year so far. It's up there with like Exquisite Corpses issue #1. Just such a strong concept, right? So Rick Remender series, Daniel Cunha on the art, same artist as Avengers Twilight, which I really love out of Marvel. And then you got, Rick Remender just killing it. So the entire story is, it's anthropomorphic animals in the World War II setting. So that sounds interesting on its surface. They're about to drop bombs on Germany, right? And they get kind of in a dogfight over the skies, plane on plane sort of action. But they're anthropomorphic animals, man. So I can't tell you what that adds to the story. It's just like very interesting to see it. I would kind of compare it in the same way that Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is the anthropomorphic kind of horror slasher series. This is like a Saving Private Ryan, but you just replace like Tom Hanks with a bear. You know what I mean? It's just like a very interesting sort of mix, but it really works, man. It really works to great effect. And Daniel Cunha's art is just excellent, dude. So I loved it. Escape number 1, you guys gotta check it out. That's a must-read single issue pickup for sure. Absolute Batman, issue number 11, the origin story of Absolute Bane. Very compelling origin story, I loved it. Seeing the kid kind of get stronger, free his people, and you know, kind of takes a dark turn when he discusses with the man in white. Obviously we know that this is the Joker, kind of an interesting, different take on the Joker. You know, he gets into this fight with Absolute Batman and Absolute Bane, but it turns out that that fight didn't actually happen, I guess, because we see here in the very back, he says that you're safe and you're not broken. He didn't go to your door first, he actually went to your friend's door. So we'll have to see how this actually happens in the next issue. It's kind of like half the issue was a lie from Scott Snyder. It was really cool, it was really epic, and I was scared the whole time reading it, didn't know what was gonna happen to Absolute Batman. But if that indeed, you know, if that didn't happen, then it's just a lie, man. But I really like the Absolute Bane origin story, so that was cool. Moving right along, let's talk about Exquisite Corpses, issue number 4. I was talking about it earlier, one of my favorite series of the year, just keeping it going with issue number 4. So we get the battle between this girl on the cover and the Fox Mask Killer. They have some bad blood, they've got some history between each other. So, you know, we got a little bit of hints of that. And yeah, this is just still a really cool slasher horror series. Takes place in Maine, which I'm having a lot of fun with. And all the different civilians are caught in the crossfire as this battle royale between these like crazed killers is going on. This is the battle between the Crossbow Girl and the Fox Mask Killer. I think that the Fox Mask Killer, she's my number 1 pick to win the whole thing. I was saying that on Kai Bucks. Me and him were saying that a long time ago. That was my pick. His was the handsome guy, handsome boy, I forgot his name. But yeah, man, just a fun series so far. I'm loving it. Great action in this one. And you know, cool, quieter sort of character moments from some of the civilians. And yeah, we're just gonna have to see how it shakes out with this series. Really cool stuff. Exquisite Corpses, issue number 4. Absolute Flash, issue number 6. Excellent, man, excellent stuff. The Rogues Year 1, so we get the behind the scenes on how they came together, you know, the moments leading up to going up against Wally West type of thing, right? And we find out that Wally West's dad is kind of the one that put this team together, and it's kind of evil because he's using, you know, the rogues at their lowest point. You know, Golden Glider lost the use of her legs, so he's like saying, hey, we'll give you your legs back if you come work for me, right? So it's this interesting kind of push and pull as he's scooping them up, enhancing them, giving them all these powers, but they're working for the government, doing maybe some nefarious things, man. So I like the kind of look behind the scenes of what's going on in this this laboratory setting. You know, we get some hints at maybe some other characters in the Absolute Universe. And yeah, I just thought that it was a really cool story for the Rogues to find this out. We'll have to see how it ties into the main story. As we see the end, Wally West's dad is making a call to Wally, and then Wally West's dad gets kidnapped or whatever. So Wally West gonna have to save his dad possibly. Hopefully they can make things right between each other, because obviously there's some love there. They just don't know how to talk to each other. So yeah, man, Absolute Flash issue number 6, definitely an upswing for the series for sure. Batman and Robin Year 1, issue number 10, just excellent stuff from Chris Samney and Mark Waid. In this one, we see Clayface and Two-Face are finally putting you know, their plan into place. They have Clayface replicas all over the city, in the GCPD, in the courthouse, like people walking down the street and everything, right? They even, you know, captured and duplicated Commissioner Gordon and were pretending to be him, almost tricking Batman and Robin. We also get a really cool chase scene throughout the streets of Gotham City. Really cool look from Chris Samney on the Batmobile and stuff like that. And yeah, man, this series is just spectacular. The artwork, the coloring, I'm just loving it, dude. I don't know what to say. It's really great. My second favorite Batman book on stands right behind, Batman Dark Pattern. Krypto, the Last Dog Krypton, issue number 3, just an excellent issue. From issue number 2, which was really kind of dark, man. This one was a lot more hopeful and kind of more of a fun read. As we see Krypto, he's lost in the woods. He runs into this girl who's also lost in the woods. They become close, they become friendly. They're trying to sleep in this cave, try to take shelter for the night. Beautiful artwork from Mike Norton too, really fun stuff. And then we see the girl, she's not waking up, man. So Krypto's freaking out. He's trying to save her, pull her out of the cave. Eventually she does wake up, but it's obviously she needs help. It's obvious that she needs some medical attention. Krypto takes her on his back and flies her into the city, stays by her bedside until she gets better. I thought this was just a really uplifting, kind of a hero sort of story for Krypto. Way better than issue number 2 that involved dog abuse, man. Superman Unlimited issue number 4. It's fun, dude. I just don't think it's necessary, right? So I think the art's really cool. It's like, what's like the story, like hook? What's the draw, man? And I don't know if I'm finding it in this issue. It's fun seeing a version of Superman, kind of a hybrid. It's fun that we get Damian Wayne in the story. It's fun that we get the Birds of Prey. It's like, what's the point of this story, I guess? So I'm just trying to wait for that. I wouldn't blame anybody if they dropped this series. I wouldn't blame you at all. Good art though, I will say, good artwork from Albuquerque. That's really fun stuff. Let's talk about Nightwing number 129. I'm not a fan of the fifth dimensional imp sort of stuff, so this arc was a little bit harder for me to get through. I appreciated all the love that Dan Watters has for the Nightwing history, the lore, and everything. It's just, I'm not a fan of the fifth dimensional imp kind of stuff. We get some great moments with Alfred and Dick Grayson involving some chicken noodle soup. Loved seeing that bit. I think that this new character is kind of interesting. He's a character that we've seen in the story before, a little kid who was in the teddy bear gang living in Bloodhaven. He's kind of merged with this old version of Nightwing from Kandor, the Bottle City. So he's like a super powered being, but also this little kid. So he's like two bodies in one, two minds in one. We'll have to see how this new character kind of shakes up the whole Nightwing, story so far. And yeah, I thought it was okay, but I thought the first arc was a little better, not gonna lie. Kind of glad the fifth dimensional stuff is over, but that's what we got, man. Everything that I read for the week of August 20th. Let me know what you thought about any of these. If you read them, down in the comments. While you're down there, like if you like, sub if you loved, I really appreciate it. Helps out these small channels. Thank you guys so much, and read more comics. Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, we're doing your comic comments. These are comments that you guys have left on my videos, whether they be comic book related or not, in the month of August. We have 13 of them here. I do this video every single month, man. So if you guys got any questions, whether they be comic book related or not, leave them down in the comments and we'll get to them next month in September. But let's start off with Braulio Espinosa 2266. Sorry I butchered your name. Your channel has the kind of content I was craving from a very long time. I like the type of day in the life and haul videos or vlogs. I'd also be interested in some reviews of comic books you've read before. So it sounds like you're liking a lot of what I'm currently doing, whether that be the day in the life type of stuff, blogs and hauls. And then you mentioned that you wish I would do some more reviews. So in the past, I've done some topics where it's like recommending Dennis Camp comic books or Hayden Sherman comic books, just creators that I really like. I have some other topics that I have written down just as ideas, but we gotta find some time on the channel to throw these in. But I have stuff like 6 out of 5-star comic books to enter your reading, your comic book reading era, best comic books that I haven't heard anyone talk about. So just stuff like that, right? So we'll do some of these topics for sure. We just gotta find some time, man. So yeah, thanks for the kind words especially, and we'll get those reviews to you coming soon. How can I get in on the swag? I'm saying nice stuff about comics all the time and no one is giving me the time of day. So I guess for me, it's like, it's not just enough to make videos about comics. Like you have to make videos that, and this sounds kind of harsh to say, but like videos that people want to watch, right? Because DC and Marvel, I've gotten some packages from them, right? And they're not just gonna give them out to everybody. I mean, they kind of give it out to people where they see value in this person making a video on the thing we give them out to. So not that I'm like the biggest hot shot in the world, whether it be on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, but you know, making enough of an impact that they notice me, I guess, right? So that's kind of the thing. You got to focus on the editing, the lighting, you know, it's not just enough to talk about, and I'm not saying this guy does this, but it's not enough to just talk about a comic book that you like for 4 minutes or whatever, right? Like these companies like to see some production value and, you know, higher quality kind of content for if they're trying to send some stuff out for promotional purposes, right? So yeah, that's what I would say is if you really want to take this seriously and start getting some things from DC, from Marvel, getting sent to you for free, you got to put a little bit of effort into kind of the final product, watch your video again, cut out the ahs and ums, that sort of thing, right? So that's the kind of tips I would recommend if you're trying to get some free stuff from Marvel and DC. Moving right along, iResi, he says that he met Jeff Lemire here at his LCS in Toronto. He was doing a free signing because he's a local. Dude is such a nice guy. I got my Absolute Flash #1 sign and a couple other floppies and a pick with him. Genuinely dope dude. Man, Jeff Lemire, that's like my #1 pick for a comic book creator that I would love to meet. I think for me, this might be a good video idea too, but for me it would also be Ed Brubaker, of course, right? It could be really cool to meet Ed Brubaker. I met James Tynion IV. Like some of these creators that I really appreciate and like, a lot of them come to C2E2 in Chicago. So I've met a ton of different cool creators like Daniel Warren Johnson and stuff like that. So I'd have to think about my list beyond that, but Ed Brubaker for sure and Jeff Lemire for sure. That'd be really cool. So yeah, man, shout out Jeff Lemire, dude. Thanks for commenting. OG Comics Review 4555 says, nice to meet another young man getting into comics. I've been collecting since 73. So yeah, man, yo, shout out all the old head comic book collectors. It's a really fun hobby to get into, and I'm seeing more and more people get into it, especially with the rise of the Superman movie, the Fantastic Four movie. I feel like there's this new wave of people jumping into the comic book hobby. I know for a fact, me personally, my brother, I've been getting him into comic books after Superman and Fantastic Four, and then my buddy Greg too, my movie buddy, we see all the superhero movies together. He is just now getting back into comic books, so it's really cool seeing him. He's got like a DC Universe Infinite subscription. He's reading all the time. Next up, we got Zach Hancock 2692. He says, I have those Batman animated series DVDs sets on my shelf. The first one especially has been watched many times over. So he's referring to these. So I have a nice set of Batman the Animated Series and Justice League DVDs, trying to get like a complete set, doing the whole Superman the Animated Series and all that stuff too, Justice League Unlimited. I think it'd be really cool to have it all, because you never know when these streaming services are gonna take them offline, right? So that's pretty cool. I think I need, so we got volume 1, 2, and 3. I think I need volume 4, and that would complete the animated series, which is pretty cool. And then I need some like Justice League Unlimited and Superman, but it's really fun to try to complete the DVD set, man. So yeah, shout out Zach Hancock. Thanks for commenting. Jabbles XY. He says, thanks for covering indie stuff. I'm trying to get back into single issues. So listen, what other comic book channels covering indies like I do, man? I'm not gonna like toot my own horn or anything, but I feel like a lot of these channels really focus on DC, they focus on Marvel. The whole world of indie comic books is so much more interesting to me personally than DC and Marvel stories especially. So yeah, man, I'm not gonna stop covering indie stuff. Indie stuff is the better stuff that I read nowadays. So yeah, dude, Jabbles XY, I got you covered for indie stuff, man. 1965 MTV, he says, I just hope Matt Fraction doesn't flub it up, though the artist is a great one. So he's referring to the new Batman series starting up soon. It's interesting because Matt Fraction, now that I've read some more Matt Fraction stuff, like I just read the, Who Killed Jimmy Olsen, and Matt Fraction's a great writer, very funny writer. I can't picture his take on Batman. I have no idea what to expect. Is this gonna be funny? Because when I associate Matt Fraction in my mind, I picture him being like a funny, comedic sort of writer. So it'd be interesting to see his take on Batman. You say the artist too, Jorge Jimenez, of course, very classic Batman sort of feel. Maybe the greatest day, like modern Batman artist, I don't know. But what do you do when you want to pull out an Omni to read? This is from Joseph Caldos. Sorry, dude, butchered your name. Haha, it seems like it'd be a whole process. So referring to whenever I want to read something in the month and I have to pull it off my bookshelf. As you guys can see, I've got like a ton of different stuff blocking, right? So it makes it kind of tough when I want to pull something out of the bookshelf. Luckily, I only have to do that once a month when I do the video for you guys, where I talk about what I want to read in that month. So it's just like a one-time kind of hassle. But this is a question I get a lot. People wondering how I take books off the bookshelf. It's not like I'm taking books off the bookshelf every single day. It really is like a one-time month type of thing, except when you have to put books on the bookshelf. That's a whole other thing too. But yeah, anyways, shout out to Joseph. Thanks for commenting, dude. Vic Damon 3551 says that his whole thing, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but he's talking about how The Ultimates is an overrated book and he thinks that nothing's really happening. It's just introducing like one new character every single issue. What I have to say to that, man, it's all about the world building for me, man. It's all about the themes that Dennis Camp's injecting into the series. It's all about, freedom from oppression, authoritarianism, like it's all this different stuff, man. You gotta scratch like a little bit deeper to get what you want out of this series. On the surface, it does seem like it's just a new character getting introduced every single issue, but for me, it's kind of the greater world that they're building in the Ultimates, and I think they're doing a better job of it compared to all the other Ultimate titles. In that way, I would consider the Ultimates to be like the Ultimate Superman, the Absolute Superman, but on the Marvel side, right? I feel like both series are kind of doing what I really like, they're kind of doing them both in their respective kind of universes. Yeah, man, it's more about kind of the themes for me and kind of the world building. And I think the character work's really good for Dennis Camp. The art's really strong too. So I don't think it's overrated. In fact, I think that Ultimate Spider-Man might be a little bit overrated, guys. Sit on that one for a little bit, guys. I think that one is not giving me nearly as much as what I like as the Ultimate series is giving me. So moving right along. Stig6370, he says, is this just me or is this the same video you posted a few days ago just cut differently? So for those that aren't clued in just yet, on Wednesday I post my giant video. That's got my new comic book day haul, it's got my comic book review segment, and then it's got 2 random variety segments where I switch it up. Could be a graphic novel haul, it could be new #1s that are coming out next month, it could be this video that you're watching right now where I'm talking about the comments, right? So the 2 variety segments, I switch it up, but then throughout the rest of the week, the Wednesday, that whole big video comes out, but the rest of the week I split it off and post each segment as its own video, just in case people want to watch the content that way. So yeah, if they don't have time for the full 30-minute YouTube video on Wednesday, they can watch the 8-minute videos that I post throughout the week. So that's kind of how I handle things here on this channel. I don't know if I'll do that forever, but that's what I've been doing for almost a year now. So we're just keeping it going. But that's why it seems like you have already watched the video. You might have, if you watched the Wednesday video, that's pretty much everything you need to watch. And then yeah, throughout the week, I just post those segments as their own video. You don't have to watch those, obviously, if you've already seen them on Wednesday. Nihilix Racing says, can't wait for the Lego game because I love the Arkham series. I'm hopefully they release a cool physical looking figure with a special edition or some kind of set based on the game. This is a really good idea, and I think that's cool. The physical set for the Lego Batman game, that's a great idea. I just wanted to bring this up because just in general, man, I wish they wouldn't do a Lego Batman game. I wish it was a Superman game, a Lego Superman game. I think that we've already gotten so many different Lego Batman games. We haven't gotten like a good Superman game in forever, right? Or maybe ever, I don't know, but it would have been cool for me if this was a Lego Superman game. I think that would have been really cool. Some of the best moments in Superman's history, his cinematic movies and all that stuff. Open world, flying around. Or picture this, guys, if they made it a Batman Superman World's Finest Lego game, like Lego World's Finest, something like that. That would have been cool, man. But instead we got the Batman game. I'm still excited about it, still gonna play it, I'm sure. Very nostalgic, the Lego Batman games, but I kind of wish Superman got some love, man. Batman gets all the game love, Superman gets nothing. Naman Kana Zrari. Sorry, dude, I just butchered your name. 5149, he says he just found me. He thinks that what I'm doing is fun and interesting, but he thinks that my videos could spread more in the algorithm if I do those comic readings, like that one channel, I believe, called Comic Storian or something. So I think this person's really referring to just like breakdowns of stories and stuff like that. Those are not the kind of videos I like to make. I leave those for the people that make those kind of videos. I'm more focused on the comic book collecting side of it, you know, building up the collection, what to collect, what do I enjoy reading and that sort of thing, reviews. Not really the story breakdown kind of guy. I'll leave the story breakdowns for the story breakdown kind of guys. Jamaican Wolverine, he says, I heavily disagree with my absolute Batman take. How do I feel like nothing's happening in that story? And then he goes into his ranking. So I brought this up because just really quickly, I mean, this could be a whole video on its own. I feel like the absolute Batman stuff, it's very interesting because the first arc with the Black Mask, I thought it was good, but it's up and down like this. Then you get the absolute Batman Year One stuff, and that's good, but it kind of doesn't have any like connective tissue to the first arc a little bit. And then you got the Mr. Freeze stuff, same thing, it just feels kind of disjointed. It's not like one story that's been continuing, it's like different moments in this story. And then we're in the Absolute Bane stuff, and it's like, where does it all connect? Like, what's the big picture? And I guess it's like the Joker kind of in the background, you know, being like the ultimate villain kind of guy. Like he's the reason why all these villains are popping up sort of thing. But I don't know, man. I just need like some more clarity on the big picture. I feel like in the other Ultimate titles, the other Absolute titles, I have a better picture of what's going on. But Absolute Batman, it's like, it's still a little hazy, right? Epic moments, epic stuff happens, but I'm trying to see through it all. I'm trying to see the big picture. And that was the last comment, man. So thank you guys for watching your comments. Like I was saying earlier, if you have any comments you'd like me to respond to in the month of September, leave them down below. And while you're down there, like if you like, sub if you love. I really appreciate it. It helps these small channels out. Let me know what you guys thought. Thank you guys for watching and read more comics.